So I want to spend some time talking about business today. And when I talk about business, I don't particularly mean the business of buying and selling. I don't want to constrain it to that. I'm talking about business in the light of what you love to spend your time doing, something you are totally committed to. So it could be something that you trade with, or just something that you are just heavily invested in terms of time. I'm not of the belief of the rigid belief that a business has to be something you sell. So people say if you're not making money, it's not a business. I don't believe that. Although yes, they are right, but I don't rigidly believe that. I believe a lot of times businesses start from a heart commitment and a time dedication to something. And that's kind of business I'm talking about. And even when you read the Bible, there's a place in Luke where Jesus was a young boy and, they went for the Jewish festival and the parents kind of lost him and they came back and found him in the temple. And when they found him in the temple, they said, why did you take us through this hassle of looking for you for days? And he said, don't you know I should be about my father's business? Now, we all know at that point in time, Jesus wasn't selling anything, but he regarded God's work as a business, something he should commit himself and his life to. So, even from the Bible, you can see that business doesn't necessarily have to be a trade. So, this for someone listening here that you are committed to something, like this is my business, and you might not have people around you telling you this is not a business because you never sold it, you never know. But then you have traded your time, you have traded your attention. It is a business. And some of these things can morph into something for which you trade money for, but it doesn't start there and it's not defined by that, at least in my opinion. Now, I want to talk about business. I want to talk about three sets of people that every business person should watch out for. Three sets of people that every business person should watch out for. And have at the back of your mind, as I've said, business doesn't have to be a trade. It's just something that you commit yourself to, that you have traded your attention and your time for. So not particularly something for which you trade to get monetary profit. Because sometimes the profit that you get from trading your time and your attention and your energy is fulfillment. So it doesn't have to be finances, it can be a fulfillment profit. So three things every business person, or three sets of people every business person ought to be conscious of. Very important that you are conscious of these three sets of people that allow a business to thrive. And if you do not handle them right, if you do not handle the relationship with these people right and feed it the right way, your business could be in trouble and it could lead to the failure of your business or the frustration of your business. I think the first set of people I want to talk about that every business needs is a team. The set of people that are called your team. Team, a very crucial set of people in any business. These people, they are attracted to your process. The process of you doing whatever it is that you commit yourself to, they're attracted to the process. Your process pulls them in. It's your process. And in your process, they see themselves in part of the process, or they would like to be part of the process. So they see themselves, either they have a skill that allows them to be part of your process. And they're like, I like this process. And there's a particular step in this process that I think I can contribute to make this process easier, better, and faster. Those people form your team. They are your team. They're interested in your process. And they want to be part of that process to make it easier, that is smoother, faster, and better. So it's very important that you know your team. Your team is very important. They might not be people that you employ. They might not be, as I said, full-time staff. You understand? A lot of times our thought about anything around business is so rigid. They might not be your staff where you put them on a salary, but they are part of your process. Very important that you understand that without these people, the process will be slow. The process will not be as good. Sometimes the process will be frustrating. So your team is absolutely important. Absolutely important. You must be able to spot people in your team that help you with the process. And when I say people, it might be a person. One thing I want to correct also is that the team doesn't have to be large. It's a team as long as there are more than one. So it might just be one person in your team. I believe teams are very, very, very important. It's very important to have a team. Very important. Things hardly get better without teamwork. A good thing would hardly get better without teamwork. So you need someone in your team. You need a team. You need a team. Very important. Sometimes you have a process, but somebody comes and just says, I want to add to that process. So they do not even see themselves as part of an existing process, but they see themselves as part of a future better process. So like, this your process is good, but it can be better by adding this thing that I have to it. Know your team. Know people in your team. Now, one mistake I realize people make when it comes to team is that a lot of people feel that as long as someone is in a team, they are more attracted to my person than they are to the process. And what I mean by this is that a lot of people feel that having someone in your team means that the person is committed to you for life or for a long period. A lot of people that start a business or have a business always think that the team is attracted to their person. But the team is not attracted to your person. Sometimes they are, but it's not as strong as the process. It is the process that attracts the team. A lot of times, it's the process, not you, the person. And so you see, a lot of people do not maximize their team because they don't feed the team what the team needs. And that's what I'm about to tell you. When you have a team, what you need to do with a team is to take care of your team. If you want to keep a good team, you must take care of them. Take care of your team. And what does it mean to take care of your team? This is where a lot of people still have this rugged mindset about what they feel somebody in the team needs. So they feel the form of remuneration for any team member must be money. Must be money. So if you're in my team, I must pay you. I think that's even good. I think let me even start from the people that have a misconception that the team is privileged to be working with you as a person. So it's about your person. And so some people do not pay their team. Some people don't pay their team. They don't pay. They don't pay the team. They're like, well, the person came and says they want to work with me. They've been seeing what I've been doing and they want to be part of it. So they feel it's about the person. So they don't pay. They're like, they are privileged to work with me in the first place. I don't think so. I don't think so. It's hardly ever the case. Somebody that is part of your team, I will come to the people that are attracted to your person, but they are not the team. You understand? They are not the team. The team they want to do work. They want an expression of work. And they want that work to be compensated. No matter how much your team tells you they love you, trust me, the compensation that your team needs is not you. And I have a lot of entrepreneurs that are so, I can't believe he left me. No, it's not about you. There was a condition that you didn't meet that your person was not enough compensation for. A lot of times, the compensation for your team is the care. And the care is not always monetary. So you have those people that feel, how much do you want? How much do you want? How much do you want? He left, but I just raised his salary like 2 months ago. I just raised the salary. So some people feel that's what they need. Some people feel, it's awards that they need. Some people don't need awards. Some people need money. Some people need more time. Some people they need company. But you must find out what that team member, what makes them tick. To care for your team, you must be willing to listen to them. Sometimes money is not as high a priority as that team member just wanting their weekend. I want weekend. Don't call me on Saturday and Sunday. Just respect that for me. I like to spend my Saturday and Sunday going to church, playing football, sleeping at home, whatever, but you must listen. Some people, it is family. I like to have time for my family. So a team member will tell you, it's by talking to them that it's very hard. It's very hard to manage a team if you don't pay attention. Some people have lost great people in their team, establishments, some religious establishments, churches. They've lost great instrumentalists, great drummers, great singers, great pianists, great keyboardists. You understand? They've lost those people because the church just believed that for them to be playing here, it is a privilege for them. They are more attracted to the person of the church. No. A lot of times, they want to be able to play the keyboard. They like the process of the worship and they want to make it better. But then in making it better, you must be attentive to what they need as compensation. Do they want to be paid? Do they want time? Do they want to be able to walk into that establishment any day and just get that keyboard? Do they want to be able to rent the equipment for their own personal gigs sometimes? You need to know what makes them tick. Care about your team by knowing their needs. If you have a team, ask them, what would you, if you had one thing you could ask me to do for you to make you happier here, what's that one thing? What's that one thing? Some people just want a small space, small office space, small cubicle. That's what they want. Some people want recognition. Awards, even if there are only 2 people, just you and them, they want that award, a plaque that they can put on their shelf. Ask your team what they want. A lot of people have lost their team because they assume what they want, and a lot of people think that the team is more attracted to your person than they are to your process. Which brings me to the second set of people that are more attracted to your person. And these are the people I call supporters. Now you can see these 3 people I'm going to talk about, they seem very similar. And that's why I'm taking time to make this podcast. A lot of people confuse their team members for their supporters and supporters for team members. So I see people that hire supporters as team members, but supporters make bad team members. Supporters are more about your person. Supporters are more about your person. They are attracted to you. Supporters. Very important to have supporters. Now, what supporters do, they allow you to have a conducive environment to express your business. Conducive environment. They contribute to a conducive environment. And sometimes that conducive environment might be a physical environment or an emotional environment. People that allow you to do your business. They actually allow you to do your business. They respect your person. So some of you have supporters, but you can't even identify your supporters. Because a lot of you see your supporters as those that buy from you or engage with you, and I'll come to those people last. But they are not your supporters. The supporters are people that when you sit down and think about it, they are the ones that allow you to have the presence of mind to do what you do. They are your supporters. A lot of times, the supporters are people that you have a somewhat intimate relationship with. There are people we call friends and family. Friends and family. They loved you before the business. They will love you after the business. They love the business because of you. The business is just a placeholder. It can be replaced anytime. As long as there's you behind it, they are for it. They are the people that even before they read whatever you've posted online, they've given you a like already. They like it not because it makes sense. They like it because they support you, your person. Supporters, they're very important. They're very important because they allow you the conducive environment to do your business. They support you. Very important. A lot of you don't understand the need for supporters. Some people don't understand it because they've never had very harsh environments, mentally harsh environment to express themselves. When everyone around you is against what you are doing, then you realize how lucky someone must be to have their family support them. I was watching a video over the weekend, and it was about this guy who was a magician, a young boy who wanted to, he loved magic and wanted to do magic as a career. But his parents wanted him to be a medical doctor. His parents were immigrants, American immigrants, or they immigrated to America. And they wanted him to be a doctor because they were working menial jobs. So they wanted more for their son. But he was interested in magic. So he didn't want to go to college. But the father was like, you must go to college. That's why I'm busting my back for you to go to college and be a medical doctor. So there was all this tussle between him and his father. And at a point, he had an audition, something similar to America's Got Talent. So he entered for that audition. And on the day he was meant to do it, his father told him, look, I know that you won't be selected, but at least when you go and you're not selected, your eye will clear. And then you can come back and face your college admission. That's what he left the house with. And because he left the house with that mentality, he flopped at the auditions. He flopped. And so he went to go and write his college application. And in writing his college application, he wrote that his parents have sacrificed a lot for him. And the best he can do is to be what they want him to be, a medical doctor. So he's giving up his passion. And when his father read that letter, he felt broken. He said, I'm taking my son through the path I've gone through too. I'm working a job I hate. And here I am forcing my son to work a job he hates also. So his father went to him and said, you know what? If you want to do this magic, we will support you. Forget this medical career. And from that day, the guy started doing magic on a different level. And his audience started growing. Because now he had support. A lot of you don't understand what support means. You're always thinking of engagement. Who is buying? Are they buying? They are not paying money. You're forgetting. You're forgetting that support is so important. Sometimes we look down on supporters. They're like, they always tell me it's good, my work is good, stuff. Let them come and buy. That's the ultimate form of support. No, it isn't. That conducive environment to allow you do what you do. A lot of people that we read about started their companies, those tech companies, started it in their garages. Google started in somebody's garage, The same thing with Apple and so many other companies. But a lot of them realized that their parents supported them to even give that garage in the first place, where they were meant to park their cars. They couldn't park their cars anymore. That's incredible support. That's support. Some of you love working with animals, and your parents have given you the opportunity to fill their house with all manner of animals, chickens, cats, dogs, goats in their compound. Some of you love to play drums, and people can't sleep in the house well anymore because you have to drum. But yet you tell them, you don't give me any money, you don't introduce me to any person, stuff like that. You don't give me any gigs, but they give you a conducive environment. Some of you like fashion design. Your whole house is littered with material, but your husband has allowed you to litter the living room as you want. He's a supporter. He does it because he loves you, not because he loves the messy house or they like to be awakened by the noise of you drumming. No, it's because they love you. They're your supporters. They give you the environment. See, I'm recording this podcast right now because my wife is my number one supporter. I can wake up in the middle of the night and say I'm going to go and record. She wouldn't hassle me. I can be away because sometimes I can say I'm going to take a walk. I'm just going away. I can be away for an hour. She wouldn't hassle me because she knows Tola is trying to come up with content. Tola is recording. When I'm sending a voice note, my children come into the room, they see me and they go back. As small as they are my supporters. They do not put money in my pocket, but they allow me the conducive environment. I know so many skilled, talented people that their spouse does not allow them the conducive environment. They want to do it, but they are doing it with half of their mind. Some people have businesses that make them stay out late. But they can't stay out late because when they know they come back to the house, it's trouble. Some people have businesses that don't allow them the luxury of cooking for their families. So they have to eat out every single time. But the family is not complaining because they understand. Those are your supporters. They are attracted to your person. They want you to be good. They want you to be safe. And here comes my caution of how people mismanage supporters. Remember, supporters are attracted to your person. The remuneration for supporters, they don't want your money, they don't need your payment. The remuneration for supporters is to respect them. Respect them. And what does respect mean? Respect means acknowledging the fact that they've allowed you. Don't take it as an entitlement. You allow me to fill the house with boxes of stuff I have ordered for my business. I'm running a food business. Our sitting room is full of food stuff. There's no leg space in our kitchen anymore. Once in a while, take some time to write a note to either your spouse that is allowing you to use your living room, or your parents, or your sister. Tell them, thank you. I see that you are allowing me. I see your support. I see it. Thank you. Don't have a mind of entitlement. Thank them. It shows respect. Respect your supporters. Respect them. Respect them. That's their remuneration. Just respect them. Show them some respect. If they are giving you a room to use that room and don't let it spill over to their own room. They're allowing your clients, you are using your room in your house as a studio. Don't tell the artists that are coming to record that they can also go and sleep in the bedroom. Let them sleep in the studio. Out of respect for yes, they are using a house, but out of respect for your supporters, don't let them go and sleep in the room. Out of respect for your supporters, don't let the people that come and use your studio, if you're using your house for a studio, go into your fridge or your freezer to start eating your food or food that is meant for people that are supporting you. Tell them, don't touch that. That belongs to my dad. Don't touch that. That's for my husband. Don't touch that. That's for my son. They support you. Respect them. Another caution that I want to highlight here about supporters, the mistake a lot of people make with their supporters. Because they are supporters doesn't mean they have the best advice for you. In fact, sometimes your supporters are your worst advisors. Sometimes your supporters are your worst advisors. And they don't mean to be your worst advisors. As I said, they are more interested in the person. So a lot of times, they want you to be safe. They will choose safety over success. Supporters don't like risk. Remember, they want to keep you. They're about your person. Which can be a good thing, but sometimes we know that business involves risk. Business involves going against the grain. And as I said, business doesn't have to be trade for money, just something you want to do. It might mean doing some things at odd hours. When I read the Bible, you see, the family were his supporters. But it got to a point where they were like, no, this guy is going mad. This guy is going mad. So they actually orchestrated to go and get him out. To go and get, because this guy needs help. He goes around healing people. He doesn't eat. He hasn't eaten and people are following him. He has gone mad. They thought he had gone mad. You see, when you ask supporters for advice, you could have a problem. Because a lot of times supporters don't know what goes into the process. They are more involved about the person. Ask advice from your team. Your team knows the process. Your team knows the process. Ask from your team. So sometimes you see yourself when you go and ask your mother for advice, she'll tell you the safest thing to do. Safest. Your supporters can tell you to stop a business because they just say, this thing, it's not, I don't think, the way I'm seeing you, you seem to be losing some weight. But don't understand that losing weight is part of the process. Part of the process. Not sleeping, part of the process. Sometimes not eating, part of the process. Most supporters don't like to see that because to them it hurts the person. It's a very, very hard line to draw. But those who are not willing to draw it never make significant progress. So I appreciate them. Even when they come, you tell them, I appreciate what you're telling me. I appreciate. Don't fight with them. I appreciate. Thank you for telling me. I know you're telling me because you care about me. But I need to do this right now. I need to do it this way right now. But I appreciate what you're saying. Thank you for your concern. A lot of times, supporters will play on your emotions. But we know that a lot of times, business is not emotional. What you're called to do has very little to do with your emotions. More respect your supporters by letting them know that you do appreciate them for allowing you the conducive environment to do what you do. Now, the third category of people that every business person must be conscious of are your fans. Your fans. See, sometimes your supporters seem like your fans, but they're not your fans, they're your supporters. Your fans are so important. The fans, a lot of times, are interested in the product. But the funny thing is that sometimes we have some businesses where you are the product. So the fans are interested in you, but not you as a person, you as a product. So never get it confused for the supporters that are interested in you as a person. Like singing, sometimes the artist is the product. Never confuse that they love you as a person, they love you as a product. They're interested in you as a product. As long as the product is available, they will do anything to get that product. Anything. They're in love with your product. I have people like that that are fans of this podcast. They have listened to every single podcast I've done from day one. In fact, they started from when I was running the YouTube channel. Every single one. Every single one. Multiple times. Sometimes even I can't remember some things I said in some podcasts. They will quote it verbatimly. They're fans. They're fans. They recommend it to other people like it's the best thing in the world. They are there. They are fans. They are so important for any business. Those are the people you call the disciples, willing to die for you. For you as a product. Don't get it confused. Product, very important. Fans. Fans, they're there. They consume. They commit. They consume and they commit. Very important. Recognize your fans. They're in your hot zone. Yes, you have some people that are one time and they will go one time. Those are not people I'm talking about. I'm saying those people that always thank God for your product. They are rigidly committed to it. They are advocates of it. They are your fans. Recognize them. They are not as many as you think. They aren't. A day is not complete without them engaging with your product. They feel odd. You are a solution to something in their lives. You solve something. You matter to them, or your product matters to them. That even if you were to pass away, as long as your product still exists, to them you are still very much alive. And you have some preachers like that. I know some people that are so committed to messages from particular preachers that in their mind the person is not dead. There are some people so committed to the messages from someone like Miles Monroe. To them, Miles Monroe is not dead. Very much alive. As long as that product is out there, they tell you they love the man. But they know very little about the man. They don't know his birthday. They don't know how many kids he had. They don't know how old he was when he died. They don't know where he was born. The message to them is the man. So they love the product. They are fans. In the fans' heart, you never die. As long as the product is still there. Fans are so important. When it comes to commitment, they're there to commit. They'll commit their money. They'll commit their money to it. They'll commit their time to it. They will. Know your fans. Even when you have competition, for them, competition only deepens their devotion to you. Competition doesn't matter. The only thing that the competition only deepens their devotion to your product. The more competition, the more it is that they hold on ruggedly to you. Unlike the normal people, competition makes them assess. For fans, competition makes them obsess. For the normal people, when they have competition, they assess which one is better. For fans, when another person comes into your industry, it just makes them love your stuff more and makes them know how much better your stuff is to your competition. A lot of times, fans keep you in business. All these other people keep you too, but fans are the people that socially keep you in business. They are the social proof. People don't see your team. A lot of people don't see your supporters. But your fans are the people that you use as a measure a lot of times to show people are using this thing. People like this thing. People buy this thing. People need these things. Fans. One thing I must warn you about your fans is never confuse the fact that they don't know your person. Never, ever, ever get confused that they don't know your person. Once you start compromising your person for your fans, it will be at a loss because the fans don't care about your person. Whether you've eaten or not, whether you sleep or not, whether you're away from your family or not, as long as you deliver the product. Never confuse the love the fans have for you as a personal thing. Never. Very important to know that about your fans. But what's the remuneration for your fans? The remuneration for your fans is feedback. When they give you feedback, take some time to look very seriously at their feedback and a lot of times to act on it. Fans, very important. I said there are not as many as they think, but those people that keep coming back and just tell you, I think you should try to change this. I think you should make it shorter, make it longer, make it sweeter. Take down the sweetness a bit, make it louder. Listen to them. Their feedback is golden. Look, your team's feedback can be very skewed because a lot of times the team is looking at their segment of the process. So I'll put it this way. I was reading this book about Steve Jobs, and I will recommend this book to any entrepreneur. Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson. Every entrepreneur should read that book. Very important. Now, when you look at Apple as a company, there are different sections of the company. There's the marketing section, there's the design section, there is the engineering section, and there's production. Apple. There's marketing, there's design, there's engineering, and there's production. Every single segment gives feedback to make their process more significant. So the designers will tell you, we think we should put more emphasis on this. That's their feedback. The engineer will say, put more emphasis on how it works. The production will say, put more emphasis on production time. Marketers will say, put more emphasis on what we can show potential customers. That's the problem with getting team feedback. Everybody looks out for their own section, which can skew the company. Apple made that mistake when they had a CEO that was more of an engineer, was thinking of the engineers, and the product sales plummeted because the design was trash. But was thinking more about engineers. Steve Jobs was more of a design-minded person, thought more about design, and the engineers suffered for it. The person in charge right now is a procurement person. He thinks more of marketing. And that's why when you look at Apple, you are seeing not significant design change because he's thinking more of sales, procurement. So that's the problem. But when you take feedback from the fans, what they look at is the product. What the process led up to. Every single thing in one. They are more objective. Listen to them. Very important. So those are the three classes of people that every business person must be conscious of. Every business person. And as I said, I'll re-emphasize this again. Business doesn't have to be a trade of money. Anything you trade your attention and your time and your energy for, you will have a team. You will have supporters. And you would have fans. But as a footnote here, I want to talk about a group of people that I think is very important to take note of too. This is a footnote. Are haters. You have haters. They are there. A lot of business people do not take time to identify who their haters are. If you cannot identify your haters, you are at risk. There are haters. People who don't see anything good in what you are doing. And when they see the good, they tell you it's not good. They are there on social media, they are there in person. They hate it. What they want to do is to get you to stop doing it. They will say anything to discourage you. They will say anything to discourage your team or to poach on your team. They will try to corrupt your fan base. And they will try to influence your supporters and tell them why it's foolish for them to support you in such endeavors. They are your haters. Every single person, every single business venture has them. Don't be deluded that you don't have them. Know them and avoid them. Some people cannot identify them, so you are sharing secrets with them. Some people cannot identify them, so you are replying them. You are replying their comments. When you see their comment, do not reply. If you want to delete, but don't reply them. They want you to argue. They want you to be vulnerable. They want you to show your ugly side. Please do not. They are your haters. You can never do anything good. Sometimes it seems like they are giving you constructive criticism. No, they are trying to demoralize you. Be very careful of them. My name is Tola T.A. Alabi, and you've been listening to my podcast, ProUp Masterclass.